Okay, morning class. Okay, I think we start our class lah, huh? So still have some members, some students not in yet, but it's okay. So we start our lecture 2 today lah. Okay, make sure you scan the correct attendance. Make sure you are for QS student, make sure you are scanning the LKC FES QR code. Last week, a few students still scan the FAM BP student QR code. So if you scan the FAM one, that's mean your attendance is not captured. It's not captured. So this student Amy and then Huiru, Hyphen, Dexter, Wenxing, EP, Yongxing, Yongxiong, those students, please make sure you scan the correct QR code. Okay. All right. We start our class. We start our lecture 2. Okay. So we are still in the introduction part, topic number 1. Okay. So we will focus on the this subtopic, job plan, and also this application benefits of VM will be next week because this lecture we are more focusing on the principle of the value management. Okay. Okay. So last week we mentioned about what is value, right? What does it mean by value, and then what is value management, and then we also study about the history of the value management, right? If you still remember, Maus is the founder of the value management, and originally value management is not called as value management, right? It's called as value analysis, then become value engineering, then further the terms evolve, and then the Kelly and Mel, they suggest that the terms should be called as value management instead of value engineering, because it involves the whole process of project life cycle, starting from feasibility study until the end of the project, and then until the post occupancy stage, meaning after construction, then they hand over the project. So value management is applied throughout the whole project life cycle. That's why it's called value management instead of value engineering. Okay. So we will move to VM value management principles today. So there are 8 principles here. This is important because you must know what is the basic of the value management. Why is so called value management? So it must have these 8 principles, then it can be only called as value management study. So first one is a structure and systematic process. So we will go through later in detail. Okay, and then second one is a multidisciplinary, meaning a lot of different professions will be inside value management study, instead of one profession. Cannot be architect, he sendiri organize a value management study, right? Because the project involve a lot of different experts, different profession. So that's why value management have to include them in. Okay, And then function, function-based, function approach, right? As I mentioned previously, value management is not only focusing on the cost. It's not only focusing on the cost. It is a function base. It's function base. If you are focusing on the cost, then it is so-called cost reduction. It's a cost reduction. It's not a value management study. So this is important. This must appear. Function base must be appear, so that the study will be so-called value management. Okay, and then fourth is value. Also, we must understand the value concept of the in value management. If you don't understand what is value, then it will be very hard for you to, to understand what is VM. To understand what is VM. Okay, so this is important. And then life cycle cost, right? This one is we are not only focusing on the construction cost only, because as I mentioned just now, value management is from the feasibility study stage until the end of the project, and then end of the building life, right? The project life cycle. So that's why this cost we must take into account. Life cycle cost. It's not about construction cost only. If it's about construction cost only, then it will be more towards value engineering. That's why we must know what is the component of the life cycle cost. Okay, and then 6, apply creative and innovative thinking. This is one part of the value management. There is one creative phase. As one of the job plan for the value management. Okay, then systematic and strategic thinking. We must stand. We must stand in the shoes of the client, right? When we are doing the value management. And then problem-solving methodology. Also, value management is to solve problem, is to solve the client's problem in the project, or especially the project, how to improve the project value. So it's a problem solving things lah. Okay. So we go to detail, right? Next is okay. So first, structure and systematic process, right? So when you say structure, you must always link to the procedure. Meaning the value management, they have a standard procedure you must follow. It's not like you create the procedure yourself. Because the value management evolved from long time ago, right? From 1960, and then now already 2020, year 2020. So the process already standardized. The procedure already, there is already something like standard SOP you must follow for value management study, right? So this procedure must be followed, then it can be only so-called value management study. You can say it's a VM procedure. You can also say it's a VM standard job plan. It doesn't matter which term is meaning the same. The meaning is the same. And then this standard job plan will be used to guide the entire process. Meaning from starting of the pre-study, and then you have VM workshop, then you have post-workshop. So later we will go through what is a standard job plan. Okay, then next is Okay, so Mouse, the founder of the value management, right? The Lawrence Mouse, right? Or you call it as Larry Mouse. He invented the job plan. This process is origin from him, right? From phase 1 orientation until phase 7 summary and implementation. So orientation meaning the starting of the before they enter the VM workshop, so they will have a orientation phase. Orientation phase. So whereby all of the members, they will agree to participate in the value management study. Okay, and then information phase is whereby the members, they will gather the info, or they will do function analysis. They will study the project and then to see where are the areas they need to improve for the project. They have to identify the area where the project have a poor value and the area of the project where they have an unnecessary cost. This is phase 2. Identify the problem first lah, and then phase 3, speculation. So they will propose something for the design change. So this is phase 3, propose design change. Okay, and then phase 4, analysis. So when they propose a design change, they are not proposing one only lah. Of course, they will propose a few alternative, right? A few alternative for the design changes. So at the analysis stage, they will evaluate which alternative is the best. Which alternative material is the best. So this is phase 4. And then phase 5, they will develop the project, the proposal. They choose the best material already, and then they have to develop to write it into a proposal. Because at the end they have to present to the client, the project client, the developer. This is our proposal. We propose these changes to this part of the building. This is the best material that we have. Our team come out, and then this is the advantages, disadvantages. These are the costs of the if we change from this material to this material B, for example. So this is development. Okay, and then schedule execution. They will present to the client, and then they will the client then will decide, right? The client will decide whether they want to accept the changes or not, the design change or not. If the client say yes, I agree with the proposal to change this element, for example, I decide to change the brick wall from cement brick to concrete block, for example. So the design team, they have to come up with the drawing changes, right? The drawing originally is a cement brick. Then they have to do certain design, change the design information already. Okay, they have to re-indicate. There was a design change in the drawing. They have to do drawing changes lah, and then they will execute in the construction phase, right? And then phase 7 is implementation. Implement, and then they will at the end at the end, they will come up with the outcome, right? The cost saving, right? And whether this value management study is successful. Okay. So this is a mouse job plan. So since 1960, right? We already have this standard procedure. That's why it's structured. Structured, meaning we have to follow step by step. Including today, including 2020. If you want to do a value management study, you have to follow step by step. Okay, but now the original mouse job plan was generally followed, but its updated form retitled as a work plan, which is more function oriented. Okay, which is more function oriented. And then the phase terms further evolve, meaning the naming here, orientation is no more called as orientation. Speculation is no more called as speculation. Orientation phase is now termed as another term, which is, you can see this is the latest one. Year 2020, we still we are using this naming. Orientation is no more called as orientation. We call it as a pre-study. We call it as pre-study and pre-workshop pre-workshop. And then information is still remain as information. Speculation is a generic idea, right? So it's now termed as creativity phase. Creativity phase. And then analysis, we no more call it as analysis. We call it as evaluation. Evaluation phase. Okay. And then development and planning, we shorten it, become development. Development. Okay, and then we have schedule execution. So before schedule execution, right, we have a presentation. Present to the client on the proposal, on the value, on the proposal for the design change, right? And then you have a schedule, you have a status summary and implementation. So we call it as a we shorten it, become implementation. So actually we have 8 steps instead of 7 phase here. Okay. But anyway, you just focus on this current standard job plan will do. Right? Okay. So step 2 until step 6 here, right, is a value management workshop. This is the part where all of the members, value management team members, right, they will have to participate full time. It's not like I have time then I join the workshop. It's not. They have to join full time, right? For the VM workshop. If it's 5 days, then they have to join 5 days lah. If 2 days, then they have to join within the 2 days for the VM workshop. Okay, then they have to prepare. After that, right? After the VM workshop, the value management team coordinator, meaning the leader, they have to prepare the report. So in your assignment, right, you have to go through, in your group assignment, you have to go through this standard VM job plan to come up with a value management report. Of course, the value management report has to be every member have to contribute lah. And this value management workshop, how you will practice it during your practical class. This is after your practical class will start week 5, and then you will go through the process. You will go through the process, and in detail you will learn in week 5. Week 5, your Mr. Lee, Surveyor Lee Zichen, he will teach you in detail the process of the VM workshop. Okay. All right. So we go to next, right? So the process can be broke. Can be broke into 3 main areas. Also, meaning you have this input and then output. Input and output, and then in between you have this so-called process of VM. Okay, so what is input and what is output, and the process for a clear picture, right? Look at this diagram. Look at this diagram. Okay, so first of all, before even the workshop start, you have a pre-workshop phase, pre-workshop phase, and then it is called as a pre-study. And you have this information phase, creative phase, evaluation, development, and then presentation. So these are the VM workshop. So they will always call this as 5 steps job plan. 5 step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in VM workshop. 5 step job plan. Okay, and then when you have information phase is the workshop starter. Okay, and at the end of the workshop is ended with the presentation. And presentation to the client on the proposal, right? And then you have a post-study whereby the workshop report will be prepared by the value management team coordinator, or the leader for the VM team. Okay, and then they will have implementation, meaning implement the proposal, implement the design change. So in detail, you can go through the basically this is the process for the whole VM study, whole VM study. Okay, and then input is during this pre-workshop, whereby the members they agreed to participate. The value management study is have to be the client they initiate, right? They want a value management study, and then they have to get the member to agree. So they might find their own architect, right? Their in-house, meaning that the consultant architect, consultant engineer, consultant QS, right? Ask them if they agree to participate. But normally they will okay, or whether the client they want to appoint external value management team, or meaning if his in-house consultant is not strong in the value management study, and they don't have experience of value management study, the client they have to get the external value management consultant. It is something like consultant QS but is so-called value management consultant. So they have to get the external team come in to help the project. Okay, and then you have output after the workshop report. you have the output. So when you say output, there must be a feedback. Or there must be a feedback whether your proposal is successfully implemented, right? Whether your the proposal implemented has a good result. Or when you say did you change the design, you must evaluate at the end of whether this design changes is actually really cost saving for the client. And then the outcome. So you have output here, right? And then the value management process in between, right? So this is whereby you will have you will go through this in detail, right? You will go through this pre-workshop, information, creative, evaluation, development, presentation until implementation in week 5. In week 5, you will go through. Also, my part is only on the introduction. Also, just let you know, you must understand the process. You must know this process. Okay, so next is a second principle, or second VM principle. You must have multidisciplinary. If you say the study is conducted by architect only, then it is not a VM study. It is a design review by the architect. It is not so-called VM study. So you have a multidisciplinary team. That means it is the VM is authentic. It's real. It's not fake. Okay, it's authentic. And then VM brings together as a team, a group of individuals who collectively are able to authoritatively analyze all aspects of the project under study. Okay, so normal in a construction project, we know that we have an architect, engineer, and QS. But value management study can bring them together. I mean, they are actually working together during the study. It's not like consultant client meeting. They discuss something, then they are doing the things together. But in value management study, they are actually really sit down, right? Because they have a workshop, right? Because they have let's say you have a 5 days VM workshop, then they really sit down together that 5 days together in one place, or in one place, full time, discuss the project. Where are the poor value items? Where are the unnecessary cost area? And then how they are going to propose design change. They really sit together. So this is the time. Okay, and then so they work together as a group under the direction and guidance of the value management team coordinator. Just now I keep mentioning value management team coordinator. So he will be the expert. This person, he must be the expert for the VM study. Because you must know that architect, engineer, and QS, they might not know what is the process of the value management study. They know value engineering is maybe they will think it's a cost reduction. But for a value management study, there must be this person in the group. to lead the team. Without this person, is not a value management study. So there must be one expert who really know what is value management. Then only they can lead the team to go through the process. What process? This process. Whole process from pre-workshop until the implementation. Also, value management team coordinator is important. Because he know the process, this standard job plan. He know how to bring the team to go through. Okay, and then so proper facilitation of a team is a fundamental critical success factor in the application of VM or VE, a value study workshop. Also, this person, the experience he has will determine whether the value management study is successful or fail. Also, this person is really important. Okay. All right, so we come to this video, right? This YouTube. Okay. Okay, so you can view this video to understand who are the stakeholders in the value management.
In Singapore, every building you see is the product of hard work. By professionals in the architectural, engineering and construction industries. Modern buildings tell the story of Singapore's development, charting its transformation from the slums and squatters of yesteryears to the vibrant cosmopolitan city-state that we see today. The construction industry not only creates jobs and drives economic activity, it also makes Singapore one of the best quality and most sustainable cities in the world to work and live in. The growth of this industry is supported by dynamic, innovative and passionate professionals who take on challenging tasks and responsibilities in bringing about the best built environment for our people, as well as delivering green buildings that preserve the environment. But the jobs are also incredibly fulfilling. Every construction project requires close coordination of a team. The architect is the grand designer who creates the form or body of the building. A building usually begins with an idea or a concept in the architect's mind. But the architect doesn't just design. She is the one who transforms the specifications from the developer into a working blueprint. She makes sure that the building complies with the regulatory and technical requirements, while keeping in mind the primary considerations of materials, functionality, aesthetics, and the environmental impact. But the architect cannot work alone. She needs to work with others to translate her master blueprint into a physical building. The civil and structural engineer is the math and science whiz that produces the structural designs, setting the bones and joints to form the body of a building. A CNS engineer needs to decide how to build a solid frame and determine the location and size of every beam and column in a building. He also has to make efficient use of materials to construct the building in an environmentally sustainable manner. In other words, a CNS engineer is responsible for creating a practical and safe structure that can withstand anything the weather might bring: the wind, the sun, the rain, and the temperature changes. While a CNS engineer is the structure specialist that sets the bones, our M&E engineer is the expert responsible for connecting the veins, injecting the life force that brings a building into being. Every modern building needs electricity, lights, air conditioning and ventilation systems to become a living, breathing, habitable place. Our M&E engineer is the person that takes care of that, making sure of the efficient use of energy and water and quality indoor living. For every project, there must be someone to take care of the money issues. The quantity surveyor is the one that manages the costs of a building project, from the initial calculations to the final figures. She must be skilled in the balancing act, analysing the numbers, assessing the risks, and preparing the tenders and contracts. That's a critical role, consolidating all the information and numbers to come up with the tender specifications and contracts. All these while ensuring that everything meets the required standards and quality. As the actual construction starts, someone has to ensure the smooth running of the project. The project manager's work revolves around three very important elements: time, cost, and quality. He becomes the key overseer once construction work begins, organising the resources to turn plans for a new building into reality. That means planning the time frame for all the necessary tasks, getting the project started from the initial stage of drafting to the final coat of paint, and to ensure that a project gets completed on time and within budget. So the building is completed, the people have moved in, and the work is done. Or is it? Buildings are built to last for many years, some surviving several generations. But proper maintenance is necessary. The facility manager is like a doctor who performs regular health checks on buildings to ensure they are well maintained and in tip-top condition. Like a good caretaker, a facility manager looks after the needs and interest of the building and its occupants, and comes up with ways to continually improve a building's amenities and services. That's to make certain that a building stays healthy and its occupants happy. These 6 professions form the core of a typical team in the construction and building industry. Together with many other unsung heroes, they are responsible for building the roofs over our heads. All this while taking care to preserve our environment and resources for our future generations. As the industry continues to grow, there are plenty of opportunities available for all talented and creative young people to join the sector and be satisfied with a career that makes a difference. Together, let's build a green future.
Okay, so you have go through the video, right? Okay, so what are the 6 professions in this construction value chain? So these professions are the main characters, characters needed in the value management study. Of course, you must not ignore the client also lah, or client and the maybe other specialists. Okay, so just now you have go through, right? You know the 6 profession already, right? Architect, M&E engineer, CNS engineer, QS, project manager, and then facility manager. So these are the 6 important person. Okay, so multidisciplinary, okay, multidisciplinary approach in value management. Okay, so we go through this. So in a VM study, right, you must have this leader, VMTC, or you can call it as a facilitator. Different country, they have different naming the terms they use. In Malaysia, we will use VMTC, Value Management Team Coordinator. Maybe in other country, they prefer to use facilitator or value manager. Also, this actually referring to the same person, the leader for the VM study. Okay, and then next is must have designer, right? Designer, architect, engineer, or CFO, CNS, and M&E. And then you have QS, right? And then you have a specialist. All these specialists can be needed or can, it depends on the project, or depends on the needs, whether they need a specialist to come in for the VM study. Depends, okay? And then you must have a project client or a client representative. Client representative can be like in-house general manager or in-house the project manager, can be representative. And then you have a project manager, right? It can be from contractor or can be from client, or depends on the project stage. Where VM study come in. If VM study come in during construction stage, maybe the project manager is from the contractor is in. If the value management study is during the design stage, then mostly the project manager is from the client company, from the developer. Okay, and then you have a facility manager, or can be or can optional. So who will decide who to come in? Who will decide the member? Who will decide the member to join VM study? Is it client? It will be the VM, the leader. He will be the one who will decide the team selection, the member selection. Of course, he will have to discuss with the client, right? They will have communicate who shall be joining for the VM study, or if the client they want to get a facility manager in, then they have to get this manager in, because this person, facility manager, will be the one who handle the part of the building after the construction, or handle the operation and maintenance part. Or let's say the project is a hotel, right? Or the project is a commercial building, a shopping mall, or office building, right? So the client, this facility manager is important, because he will be the one who do the schedule the maintenance. They have the experience. They have the experience if what are the issue will happen if they use the certain system in the building. Okay, and then you have an end user, and then you have any recognized stakeholders. Okay, so these are optional. These four optional: facility manager, end user, other stakeholders, specialists are optional. The main character is project manager, client representative, this designer, and QS and VMTC. they have to be in. Okay, and they are the key person. They are the key person that will decide the failure or the success of the VM study. Okay. Okay, so why multidisciplinary is important in VM study? Okay, the first reason is everybody is having different expert in different area. Also, a construction project is a complex, right? Or you have structural item, you have architecture item, you have maybe a specialist item. For example, firefighting system, aircon system, communication system. So that's why different expert is needed, different knowledge is needed, right? And then another one is a decision made in one discipline can have a profound impact on another, right? In a typical cost-cutting exercise, each discipline often conducts its own independent review. And many times the impacts of their proposal on other disciplines is not adequately considered. Also, let's say cost study, or if the QS is being asked by client to do a cost reduction exercise, often QS will propose the most cost-saving proposal to the client. So many times the quality is not being considered. The quality and the function of the material, right, is not considered. If the QS he alone doing the cost cutting exercise, right? But in VM, they are sitting together, right? Architect, they will comment on the quality, right? If they choose this material, what will be the consequence to the project? So value management study is actually bringing more value to the client instead of cost reduction exercise. Okay. And then therefore, by using multidisciplinary team approach, this problem is avoided. So consider about the function, right? Consider about the quality in VM study, which the cost reduction exercise is merely, they will not consider about the function or quality, right? Okay, next is okay, often the best idea is for project improvement or for cost reduction frequently emanate from an individual who is not of the discipline. And this means that sometimes architect they are stuck with the idea, or they are keep focusing on their own idea, and then they often never think of another better idea before. So in value management study, whereby different person gathered together, right? They can provide something that the architect never think of. So this is something quite interesting in VM study, right? Okay, then, but that individual on its own will not be able to properly develop the idea. Meaning he might know something, he proposed something, but he does not know in depth. But the multidisciplinary team, they are able to help to develop the idea. Meaning they can provide what are the advantages of using this material, what are the disadvantages of using this material. They can provide the proposal development. Okay. So that's why you must have a multidisciplinary team. Okay, so what does a VMTC do? This is important. You must know what is your leader doing, why he is important in the team, in the VM team, value management study team, why he is important. Okay, so he is the one who lead the VM study. This is his main job. His main job, his main role in the value management study. Lead the process. So lead the, meaning the job plan, the value management procedure, from pre-study until the from pre-study and then workshop, and then until the end of the workshop, you have post-workshop. Okay. And then what are the things that he do? Set the timetable. Set the timetable, meaning set the agenda. Which day, which date, which time they will start the VM study. So meaning he have to coordinate with the architect, engineer, QS, right? What are the times they are convenient? What are the times they are convenient to sit together full time to study the project, right? For the workshop, Okay, this is important. Okay, and then they advise on team selection. Team selection meaning who shall be the member, right? Who shall be the member in the value management study? Do they need a facility manager come in? Do they need other specialists to come in? For example, they are building a hospital project, right? The client he wants to conduct a value management study on a hospital project. So you know that hospital project is a quite complex project, right? It's not about involve a lot of different space, operation room. They might need machine and equipment, medical equipment, different machinery, the equipment for medical. So they might need to get an expert team to come in. Meaning the supplier for the medical equipment and machinery, those they have to get those experts in. Because even the architect, even the M&E engineer, they are not that, not that experienced, not that expert enough. That's why they have to get other expert in. Okay, and then next is design appropriate VM study activities and structure. All the activities, meaning he have to prepare something like agenda, from what time to what time they are going to conduct information phase, from what time to what time they have to conduct creative phase. So when is the date, from what time to what time they have to conduct evaluation phase. What I mean is this. Because for the workshop to start, right? They have to set the VMTC, he have to plan what time, what date information phase, or what time, what date creative phase, what time, what date evaluation phase, until presentation, what time, what date is the presentation. If let's say 5 days, or they are conducting from for 5 days VM workshop. Day 1, maybe information. And then day 2 morning creative. And then day 2 afternoon evaluation, right? Day 3, day 4 development, for example lah. And then day 5 presentation. So he have to set the timetable, the VMTC. Okay. And then next is ensure adequate preparation, right? Adequate preparation and information gathering. Also, information gathering is important because for a project, you must know the documents that you must gather. The document, drawing, cost plan, right? BQ, and then maybe certain statutory requirement, and then maybe certain cost estimation or supplier brochure, right? The specification brochure, the material, the brand that they are using. These are things that they have to gather. Okay, and then apply value method, tools and technique to achieve team success. So value management study, you have a lot of different technique in different phase. Just now you have information. Also information phase, you have function analysis technique. And then you have creative phase, right? So creative phase, they have different technique, like brainstorming technique. Have more like synthetic thinking technique, right? So VMTC, he will be the one who guide the whole process. He will know what technique to be used. Also, this person is important. He have to be knowledgeable and he has to be experienced enough to guide the team. Okay, so it's important, this person, VMTC. Okay, and then lead the workshop process and generate shared understanding among members. When you say share understanding, meaning he have to convey the message, right? The client will tell this VMTC what he want to achieve for the project, what he want to retain for the project. So this VMTC, he have to make sure all of the members, they have the same understanding. Same understanding on what clients want, what clients need for the project improvement. Or else later on there will be argument in the study. Or later on miscommunication or argument when they are doing the judgment evaluation or proposal. Also, this is important, sharing understanding, meaning everybody have the common understanding on the project, on what client needs and want. Okay, and then ensure open, free, and diverse contribution. So since he is the facilitator, right? He is the leader, so he have to ensure that the whole atmosphere of the VM study during the workshop or during the VM workshop have to be open-minded. Or have to be open-minded. Everybody is free to give any idea, right? Or he have to ensure this kind of atmosphere. Everybody is free to give idea, and no one shall be judged for the idea given. This is important. And then ensure there is an agreed desired outcome or consensus decision. Or because this one is means when they propose idea, right? After that, they have to do evaluation. They have to evaluate each idea, meaning design change lah. Or maybe architect he proposed change material A to material B. Then another one proposed material C. Then QS maybe propose material D. So at the end, right, they this VMDC have to make sure only the best material will be chosen, and the members they are actually able to agree with that one best material. So there must be an agreed outcome, or an agreed outcome and consensus decision, because they want to propose to the client. Cannot be proposing 2 to 3 ideas to the client, then ask client to choose. Of course, the client, they will ask which one is the best material, which one will provide the best value for money for me. So they have to come up with an agreed outcome, meaning one. Okay. Okay, so next is conduct audit on completion of study. This is towards the end of the study, meaning post workshop. Post workshop, they have this VMDC. He have to prepare a report. Not only on the proposal, but also the feedback for future study. So at the end of implementation phase, he will have to study back. Is it something that he can improve? And then he will study why this proposal is not accepted by client. Why this proposal is not accepted and then implemented by the client. So they will have to this VMDC, he have to study all of this. Okay, then we go to third one, function base. Function base. Okay, so far so good. Everyone, so far so good. Can I continue? So far so good. Okay, we will continue for the third one, principle, and then we will take a short break after this. Okay, take a short break to refresh first. Later on, we will continue with the fourth principle. So I will continue this one. Okay, function base. Third principle is function base, right? So VM, important things beside the cost, you must remember function, quality is also important, right? And then you have this function base will be the one that distinguish value management from cost reduction or design review activities. When you say you are doing the design review, normally they are more towards the cost reduction. The client want to reduce cost. But if the client, he said he want to do value management, right, or value engineering, so the study team have to focus on the function. Okay, function instead of cost only. Okay, so in cost reduction, two questions are generally asked. What is it? What is the item that need to reduce cost? And then what else can we use? Meaning, what are the materials that we can use to reduce cost if it is a cost reduction exercise? Also, they are focusing on material that can reduce cost. But in VM, right, value management, the technique used is function analysis. This is technique, one of the technique. Okay, so in function analysis technique, we will ask this kind of question: what does it do? Meaning, what does this material do? What does a cement brick do? What does the door element do? What does the area do? Meaning like project space, right? You have certain area, for example, multi-purpose hall. So what does the multi-purpose hall do? So we will ask this kind of question. And then what is the function that is seeks to achieve? Okay, so what does the multi-purpose hall what are the basic functions that the multi-purpose hall contribute to the project? So is it necessary for a multi-purpose hall to be in a project? So we will ask this kind of question in VM. Meaning, do we really need this space? Do we really need this element? And then what does it do for the project? Because if it is an unnecessary function, we can remove the area from the project. We can remove the space, the multi-purpose hall from the project. If we don't need it, then why don't we just remove it, right? So this is function analysis. Okay. So function is an expression of the needs in terms of performance rather than solution. So we will ask about the performance of the item, performance of the element, or performance of the space of the area for the project. In term rather than solution. And then it's a link between the needs and product. We will ask whether we really need that area in the project. The multi-purpose hall, is it we really need multi-purpose hall in a project? For example, do we really need a three toilet in a housing unit? Or 2 toilets is sufficient? So this is something that we want to ask in the project. And then basic of creative problem solving in VM. Also, we will always ask what are the function, what is the function of the element, what is the function of the component, what is the function of the space in the project. Then they will generate more ideas. Because when you understand that element, when you understand the needs, the function of the area, the space in the project, then you will know what to propose. For the design change. Okay. Okay, so what is function? Okay, function is a description of purpose or task, and as such does not have a unit of measurement associated with it. So we are asking, what does it do? What does it do? Okay, so in VM, this one I already mentioned. Function analysis is a technique to analyze the function. Meaning we will ask what does it do, or what is the basic function, what is the required function of this element of this space in the building. Okay, as such, okay, so a systematic analysis of function ensure that the most appropriate technical solution in terms of cost, performance, and quality. So we are focusing, when we do this function analysis, we are focusing the performance and quality. Okay. So in VM, right, in value management, normally we describe because it says the function is a description of purpose, right? So when we describe the function of an element, or we describe the function for a space, normally we will use one verb and one noun. In value management, one verb and then one noun. Okay, so that's why here it says simple verb plus noun form, and that is 2 words. Okay, 2 words. So example, provide functions of door element. Now here I didn't mention what door. It can be entrance door, it can be a sliding door, it can be a bathroom door. Okay, so provide the functions. So in 2 words, one verb and one noun, right? Okay, so you can say access space, verb, then noun. Okay, this is how you describe an element or describe a space in VM. You will learn this, you will use this later on. I mean, this you apply this during your practical class. Okay, so take note okay, and then secure space. One verb, one noun. Okay, and then control access. One verb, one noun. Right, and then resist fire. If it is a fire door, right? Resist fire. Okay, one verb, one noun. And then resist moisture. If it is a bathroom door, right? Resist moisture. One verb, one noun. Okay, so function analysis. This is so-called function description. Function description. Okay, so function. There are four level. 4 level. The first level is function as a whole, meaning the whole project. We describe the function as a whole project. What is the function of the hospital project, for example? Or what is the function of a hotel project? So we are more focusing on the concept of the project. This is the first. And second, function as space. So we can say what is the function of lobby in a hotel? What is the function of a restaurant in the hotel? What is the function of the multi-purpose hall in a hotel? So we will ask about this. So this, that's why it says function as space. So you must understand. Okay. And then third one is function as element. So we say what is the function of door for multi-purpose hall, for example. What is the function of lighting system in a multi-purpose hall? What is the function of sound system in the multi-purpose hall? Or what is the function of a sound insulation system in a multi-purpose hall? So we are focusing on the element. Or we can say what is the function of the carpet in a multi-purpose hall. So there are a lot of level that we can look into in value management. Okay, and then another one, the lower one, it will be function as component, which we seldom use this because it is more detailed. For example, what are the function of the door handle for a door? What is the function of the hinges for a door? Or we seldom will focus on component. Normally in a project, we will more concerned on the elements, right? And the spaces. Okay, because these are the area where we are able to, improve the project value, and we are focusing on a higher cost area. Okay, so these are the level on when you say elements, is referring to construction elements. Okay, when you say component, is actually components in the element. Just now I give an example is doorknob and the hinges for a door element. Okay, so I think you know, because I keep repeating the things spaces and the things. Okay, this is the level. Okay, so when you are having this is a rebar plan of work, whereby you have pre-brief and then briefing stage, whereby you have a feasibility stage, and then you have sketch plan, meaning design brief, a brief design. Okay, and then you have working drawing, whereby you have detailed design, and then you have site operation, whereby you have the construction, and then you have post construction stage. Okay, so here, okay, at the earlier level, whereby the value management study come in, so this is the where we can apply the concept or describe the project concept. Okay, and then if the VM comes in during the sketch plan stage, right, meaning the brief design stage, so we can focus on spaces. Meaning change the space, because earlier we in the schematic design, we know the spaces already. So this is the area where we can change the space, right? And then if the VM comes in during the design stage or during the detail design, okay, where you have a detailed working drawing. So this is the area that we can focus on changing the element in the building, and somehow can also changing the component or component. For example, door handle. The architect, they can decide which type of door handle or door knob they want. Because it is also one of the costs. There are expensive door knob, or there can be an expensive door handle as well. There's also cheap one. So in the detailed design stage, we can focus on element and the component. Okay. So this is activity levels, and then at which stage you can apply which function. Which function? You can focus on which function. Okay. So traditionally, if they are conventional concept is on the cost reduction. If client they want to save money, they want to do cost reduction exercise. QS normally they will focus on, right, where to reduce the cost. So if let's say this is a build-out cost, this is the area where they can help the client to save the money. Is it they want to reduce the material cost? Is it they want to change another method of construction so they can save on the construction cost? So traditional way. But in value management or value engineering, whereby you focus on the function, right? You have to study what is the basic function, what is the secondary function. This function, basic function, must be retained. Must be retained, meaning you cannot sacrifice, or you cannot sacrifice the basic function to reduce cost. Cannot. In value management, cannot. But you can sacrifice the you can look into the unnecessary function in the project, and then those functions incorporated in the design stage. For example, the aesthetic value, right? There is certain things that is unnecessary, right? So there will be a potential cost reduction. So in value management, we should look into this unnecessary cost, and then whereby there is a poor value function during design. Okay, these are the two areas that we can look into to reduce cost. But we must retain these two, functions expected by customer and the basic function. Okay. All right, we take a break. We'll take a break before we go to value concept. We'll take a break. So we still have half to go now. Half to go. Okay, can we take a break? Also, we take a break now. Okay, so you come back around 10:17. Okay. Okay, we continue. Okay, we still have a half to go. Okay, all right. So we continue with the fourth principle. Okay, fourth principle, value. Okay, value. So in a VM study, object is not to reduce cost. The object is to improve value. So this is what I keep on highlighting. It's not only about reducing the cost, but also improving the value. And then the cost is just one element, right? Relative to value on a construction project. Okay, and two other important aspects are time and function, and also the quality. So there should be a proper balance between cost, time, and function. So in order to achieve the best value for the client, there must be a balanced relationship between the cost, function, and time. Cannot be because of the cost, right? You want to save cost, but you sacrifice time. Or you prolong the time of construction. At the end, it will still go back to higher cost for the construction. And we should not also sacrifice, right, the function. Okay, so this Carlos Fallon, he expressed the value in terms of worth over cost. So this one actually we already go through in lecture 1, right? If you still remember, we have go through this during lecture 1. What is value? Right? Cost over a worth over cost, right? So there should be a balance. And the definition here you must know. The most cost-effective way to accomplish a function. And then the worth is the least cost to perform the required function. This definition you must understand. You must understand, because eventually you will have to use this, right, in your information phase. The first VM workshop, information phase, you will need to use this equation later. Okay, the cost is the price paid or to be paid, which normally the construction cost the construction cost. And then another one, another equation. It's not equation. It's another relationship expressed by Dale Isola. Dale Isola. This is also important. This is also important because you will have to. There will be a 4 value improvement approach that you will need to know, and then you will need to apply. Okay, so you must understand the definition as well. Function. What is function? The specific word that a design or the item must perform, meaning the element, the space, right, the component must perform. Okay, quality. Quality normally refer to what clients and the end user want, what they need, okay, what they expect. Okay, so in value management, we should not really sacrifice this. Okay, quality. Cost, which normally is referring to life cycle cost, but let's say value engineering, right? They only focus on the design stage, right? So design stage meaning we only focus on the construction cost. It can be two. It can be two types. Either you focus on construction cost or either you focus on life cycle cost. Okay. So, but normally we if it's a design stage, right? Normally, if they doing the value engineering, they will focus on construction cost. And then value, the most cost-effective way, is the same. Is referring to the same definition as the previous one. Okay. Okay. So why we need to manage project value? Why? Why the client is so consider about the value brings to his project? Because the capital is not a free commodity. Meaning the money you have to be spent wisely, and sometimes the project is not fully owned by the client himself. There will be some investor, right? There will be some other project sponsor. So the money have to be used wisely, or else it will be questioned by the investor, by the other project sponsor. Okay, and then scarcity of fund. When the client have their project budget, they have a restricted project budget. That is why they have to make sure the money they spend is really have to be spent wisely. Okay, have to be value for money. And then unnecessary cost assist. The client does not have to have they no need to have to pay for the unnecessary cost. And then poor value occur, right? So when you say poor value, meaning the money is not spent at what it should be. Like you don't need a marble tiles for a low cost project, right? Or you don't need a marble for a medium cost project, right? So this is something that is how certain project they have a poor value. You don't need something that is extra for your project. And then dissatisfaction of clients and users. Okay. And then competitive environment of the construction industry or project, property development. Especially you know Selangor, KL, this area. And then Johor, or you say Penang, whereby now you have an oversupply of the property. You can see a lot of high-rise project, right? Residential, right? Commercial. So in this competitive environment, and the client try to sell the property with a lower price, right? In order to be competitive, so they have to make sure, the elements inside their building, right, are designed properly. So the money have to be used wisely. Okay. All right. So unnecessary cost. Okay. Just now we mentioned unnecessary cost assist. That's why we need to manage project value, right? So what does it mean by unnecessary cost? What is the unnecessary cost? So the costs that do not meaningfully contribute to the function. Okay, and also another one is a wasteful practice in delivering a service or failure to match the performance or service to customer needs. So sometimes there are, like I say, competitive environment. of the property development. So you can see a lot of condos around in Selangor and KL, right? So you can see that a lot of projects, sometimes they are trying to attract the buyers, right? They are trying to attract the buyers, saying, I have 36 types of facilities. I have 24 types of facilities in my project. So is the more facility more better? Does it mean more facility is better for the client or the end user? Because at the end, the facility built, right? You have 36 facility. Maybe you have 48 facility, but the end user does not need it. Right? At the end, they are not using the facility, but they have to pay. Right? They have to pay for the price. They have to pay for the maintenance fee, management fee. So it is actually doesn't mean the more the better. Okay, so it's an unnecessary cost, especially for the facility provided in a high-rise development. Okay, so it's a wasteful practices. Okay, causes of unnecessary costs, right? So what are the causes? Habits and attitude. Also, this one is more towards the designer. Or sometimes they thought the design is fancy, right? But it actually costs extra. Is an unnecessary cost for the client. Especially architect, they want a fancy design, but then at the end, right, bring extra cost to the client. And then honest wrong belief. Okay, and then a shortage of time to review. This means sometimes the client, they have provide a short design time, right, for the architect engineer. So with the short design time, right, the architect and engineer sometimes might overlook something, or overlook the element, right? Over design. There might be an over design. Okay, and then poor communication. Poor communication, which often occur between a client, right? Client, architect, and then engineer. Poor communication. So sometimes the architect did not get what client wants, right? The things might over design. Okay. And then lack of idea or information. This means because the technology, right, improve from time to time. The manufacturer, they also improve the product from time to time. Okay, but then somehow architect, they are not aware. They are not aware of the new product, not aware of the new material in the market, right? Right. So somehow they are not using the most cost-efficient material for the project. Okay, and then reluctant to seek advice. Reluctant to maybe seek advice from the supplier, right? Somehow supplier, they know their product more, then they can propose to the architect, right? If the architect, they reluctant to seek advice and then still use the same previous material, somehow it will be cost. Actually, it's not a cost saving for the client. Okay. Okay, lack of yardstick for measuring value. This is especially sometimes designer, they are not aware how to balance between the cost and the design. And then over design and changing technology. Changing technology. There will be somehow, maybe they are designer proposing a new technology to be used in the project without considering the cost. It's an extra cost to the client somehow. Okay, human factor, old specification, right? And then fear of trying something new. This is especially those old architect firm, meaning the still very traditional, the architect or engineer. They are not willing to change the construction method. They are not willing to try a new product. This can be unnecessary cost for the client. Okay, unrealistic judgment. Okay, and then the last is look for a quick fix solution. Okay, so this is that's why it says it is costly, but no worry. It will be put right tomorrow, and that tomorrow never comes. So this is how the unnecessary cost. If there is no VM study, if the architect engineer, they are not sitting down together with the client QS, right, to do the value management, a lot of money will be wasted for the client. Okay, so we come to causes of poor value, right? Causes of poor value. So actually it's almost the same, no? Causes of unnecessary cost and causes of poor value. The point is almost the same. Inadequate time for reviews. As I mentioned, the design time may be too short for the client, too short for the designer. They don't have the time to review back what they can improve for the project, right? And also conservative architect or conservative engineer. They want to use a traditional way. They are still stick to old way. Okay, and then influence of stakeholders, right? Maybe the client, especially client. It will be also one of that, the reason of poor value. And then honest misconception, okay, and then poor communication amongst the client, architect, engineer, okay, and then lack of coordination, okay, especially engineer and the architect, the design part. And then lack of consideration of buildability in design, unnecessary restrictive design criteria, also like the requirement or design requirement. Is it over? They are proposing something that is more than the standard need. Maybe like lift corridor, let's say corridor, or maybe 1.5 meter width is enough. All right, but the architect, they provide 2 meter width for corridor. Is unnecessary, okay? And then lack of needed expert. Okay, lack of needed expert, or especially like I say hospital project, right? You have a lot of system in the hospital, right? Yeah, even the flooring, right? Even the floor finishes is also different, different from normal residential project. They have to use certain material that is, the bacteria that cannot stick on the floor. It's easy to clean. They need this kind of flooring material, right? So lack of needed expert. So that's why the more complex the project, you need more expert in. Okay. So we come to this 4 value improvement approach, right? Or you have how do you improve the project value, right? You have four approach. So this is important. This is important. Okay. So first one is cost reduction. Cost reduction. So when it says cost reduction, meaning, okay, this one is equation from the Dell Isola, right? Dell Isola equation, if you still remember. On Dell Isola equation. Okay, so using the Dell Isola equation, improve the project. How do you improve? So there are four ways. 4 ways. So first one, cost reduction. So when you reduce the cost, but you maintain the function and quality. Or maintain the function and quality. So that is how you have the value appear. Okay. And then function increase approach. When we say function increase, so you can see the function plus quality have to be increased, but with a same cost. Same cost. Right? So you have value for the project. Okay. And then compound approach. So when you say compound, so it's a mixture of cost reduction and function increase. Mixture of cost reduction and function increase. So you can see that the cost is lower, but with a higher function, right? So actually, so it's a value for the client. Provide value for the client. And then last one is expand growth approach. When you see expand growth, right? The cost expand, the function and quality increase also. So this expand growth approach is applicable when the client have they are not concerned on the they have good budget. They have enough money. They don't have any restricted budget for their project. Then you can then the client, then the team can use expand growth approach. Okay, so if the client they have a tight budget, if the client have a restricted budget, they eventually the VM team, right? The value management team, they have to use these 3 approach: cost reduction, function increase, or compound approach. Okay, so take note. Different situation, you use different approach. Different situation, you use different approach. Okay, so we go to first one, cost reduction approach, or reducing cost, but maintaining the function and quality. And then what is the potential improvement? Okay, so sharing of space or facility, right? Meaning, right, when you share the space, for example, maybe one project you have, originally you have one basketball court, right? And then one badminton court, or one tennis court, and a basketball court. So if the developer, if the VM team, they want to reduce the cost, but maintaining the function and the quality, or they can share the space, meaning basketball and the tennis court can be one space, meaning they will name it as multi-purpose court or multi-purpose court. So this is a sharing of space or sharing of facility. Okay. And then integration of function, and then opt for cheaper solution with same material, same quality and function. Also, for example, floor tiles, right? Floor tiles, there are different brand, right? Maybe you have White Horse, maybe you have a Nairo granite, right? Maybe you have a Coursera brand, or different brand, or within the same brand you have different standard, right? You have cheaper one, you have a cheaper one, but actually the function can also be the same. So you can propose the change to the floor tiles. Propose changes to the floor tiles with a lower cost but same function, right? So here you have to consult the floor tile supplier. They will propose cheaper solution for you, right? With the same function and quality. Now, this is how you do cost reduction approach, by maintaining the function and quality. Okay. And then the outcome. What is the outcome? Optimize design, right? Because you save the cost, or save the cost for the client, and then at the same time, actually you are maintaining the function, maintaining the standard quality, right? Redundancy eliminated, right? Unnecessary things are eliminated. For example, like I said, right? Basketball court and tennis court. Not many people play tennis, right? So somehow, if the developer is clever enough, or if the the design team is clever enough, or they will just mix the basketball court together with the tennis court. They will name it as multi-purpose court, right? To save the money, right? For the client. Okay, and then unnecessary cost avoidance. Okay, it's avoided, or client does not have to pay for extra unnecessary things not needed by the end user. Or like I say, the tennis court, right? Okay, and then project cost optimization result in cost saving. Also, if the client they want to save money, they can use this cost reduction approach. They can use this. Okay, understand? Okay, next is function increase approach. Or like what it says, function increase, so function and quality increase, but the cost maintain. So this is also for the client to improve. This is how they can improve the value, because like if you are providing better function, better quality product for the end user with the same cost, why not, right? Why not? Because it will improve the sales, right? The sales of the property for the developer, right? Like floor tiles, you can use a better function, more aesthetic floor tiles, but with the same cost. Why not, right? Or you can say I provide a Yeah, it depends on, especially the architecture part. Giving a same better function, better quality item with the same cost, similar cost, right? To improve the sales of the project, why not, right? And then okay, so potential improvement. So meaning potential suggestion to improve is add or improve functionality, operation, and process. And then opt for better quality, specification, characteristic, method, or technology, yet within cost. Or another example is like sanitary fitting. Sanitary fitting. So if the developer, they give a better quality sanitary fitting, for example, they use the Johnson Swiss product, they use a Total brand product, and with able to maintain the cost, right? Why not? Okay. So outcome: enhance function, enhance operation, and then enhance quality, enhance method characteristic. Okay, and maintain the original cost. Okay, if let's say client, they have a 5 million budget, and with the increase of the function, but they are still within the 5 million, why not, right? Okay, next is a compound approach. Lower cost, higher function and quality. Okay, so potential improvement, eliminate unnecessary items impacting function or quality, right? And then opt for better function at a lower cost. This is possible also. And then potential outcome: unnecessary cost avoidance, and then improve quality, improve technology. This is particularly true, right? Because you can see now the technology is changing from time to time, right? And then with the improved technology, the cost of the product, the cost of the material somehow lower. So that's why doesn't mean you are using the old types of material, then you can save the cost. Like for example, clay brick and concrete block. Concrete block is the new technology, right? But somehow they say clay brick is stronger, but actually the concrete block is also strong, right? So why not? Why not we use a lower cost item with a higher function material, right? So this is how you must able to think for the project. How do you improve? Okay, project cost optimization result in cost saving. Okay, next is expand growth. Expand growth. So increasing the cost, but at the same time improve the function and quality at high proportion. So as I mentioned, expand growth is only suitable for clients that have they have no budget issue. They are rich enough. They want to. They have the budget for the improvement. Okay, they are not considering the cost as one of the constraints. Okay, so you maybe something like hotel project possible. Hotel project possible for the expand growth, increase function quality and increase cost. Okay, improve operation. Okay, and improve maintainability, improve constructability, and opt for better technology. Okay, so this is, for example, like you can see some project like hotel, they might use curtain wall or better technology, right? So they might use curtain wall. Why? Easy to maintain, right? Or improve maintainability, or improve operation, or maybe in future when they want to do changes, right? They want to refurbish. Curtain wall is easy to, they can just dismantle the curtain wall, right? So client, they will foresee this kind of things lah. That's why they are willing to spend more to improve the maintainability, operation, in future refurbishment, right? They will apply this spend growth. Okay, and even like a system, you can say they prefer centralized aircon system. Why? Maybe can improve the operation of the hotel, right? Better maintainability. So this is something that you must be able to think of lah. Okay. Potential outcome: enhance operation and maintainability, improve constructability, technology, right? And it is mainly for project cost, life cycle cost optimization. So if the client, they are very concerned on the life cycle, right? They will use spend growth. They are willing to spend more money, because at the end it will help them to save more costs for the life cycle, life cycle cost. Meaning they spend more at the initial cost for the construction, but at the end, life cycle cost is actually a saving for the client. Okay, because easy to maintain, easy to maintain meaning they can save on the maintenance cost, or easy to operate. Or for example, they have a lighting system, right? They have an energy saving lighting system, with a higher cost, but at the end they are able to save on the operation cost, meaning the energy cost later, in optimize their operation cost. Okay, so able balancing between the function and cost. Okay, so these are the three required project function for cost reduction. If the client they just want to reduce the cost, and then they just want a basic function required project function achieved, then he can apply this cost reduction approach. But for function increase and compound approach, normally when the client they want to have an additional desirable project function. Okay, that's why you can see the equation, right? Additional requirement, right? Increase additional function. Okay. Okay, next is the life cycle cost. We go to principle number 5, life cycle cost. So in VM, right, value management, the focus is not just on initial capital cost. So what does it mean by initial capital cost? So when you say initial capital cost is a cost that paid by the client, right, for design, for construction, for project management, for feasibility study. Also, this is the initial capital cost. So we also have to focus on the life cycle cost in value management, meaning from the starting until the end of the life of the building. It's not only the client they build the building. After build, if they are using the building, they have to consider the operation, the maintenance, right? And at the end of the life of the building, they have to consider whether they want to demolish the building or not, right? So this is life cycle cost. So it's an important technique used during VM study, or you will learn this also later on your topic number 4. Topic number 4, right? You will learn the calculation part. You will learn later. So here I just bring out the introduction part only. Life cycle cost. So life cycle cost is total. The total life cycle cost equals to initial cost plus follow-on cost. So what are the follow-on costs? Including cost of repair, replacement, operation, maintenance, right? And whether maybe it's a demolition or salvage revenue cost. Okay, we'll look into later. So life cycle cost including these few costs, okay, until the end of the life of the building. Okay, so definition. Del isola again. Del isola incurred. So is an economic assessment. Meaning money. It's about money, about the cost. So of an item, area, system, of facility, and that consider all the significant cost of ownership over the life. Meaning the whole project life cycle, the cost that have to be paid to own the building. The costs have to be paid by the client to own the building from the starting of feasibility, design, construct, right? Operate, maintenance, and then demolition. Okay. Another one, IBMM, Malaysian Institute Value Management. Okay. Total sum of all expenditure, okay, in terms of monetary currency during the lifespan of project facility. Okay, sorry, hold on. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so we continue. Okay. All right, so we have go through this definition. Okay, we move on to the cost element. Okay, we move on to the cost element. So these are the cost element of life cycle costs. As mentioned, not only initial costs, right? The other costs like operation, maintenance, replacement, and salvage revenue or disposal costs must be taken into in value management. So you will learn on the calculation part on this each of these costs. You will learn how to calculate lah. Okay. Okay. So initial cost. If you want to know what is initial cost, right? Is actually involving site land cost. Okay. Design fee, legal fee, meaning lawyer fee lah. Okay. Project management, right? And then construction cost, right? And then the service tax. This is a tax. And then development grant. Okay. And then operation cost. When you say operation of building, you must relate to energy, energy, security. Security cost paid for the to secure the building, insurance, fire insurance, and the staff, meaning the like management, and then maintenance costs. You have planned and unplanned, or planned and unplanned. So these are all of the costs that will incur when the end user start to use a building, right? Operation and maintenance. And then you have replacement, or when either the element in the building is damaged, right? You might have to replace. And then last is disposal cost or salvage revenue. If the building is demolished, then mostly you have a disposal cost. Or if say an element can be it's no longer have a selling value, and there will be a disposal cost for it. Okay. So salvage revenue is revenue for selling off at the end of the useful life. For example, like aircon unit, if possible, have a salvage revenue. The item can be sold at the end of the life. Okay. So life cycle cost equals to you have to add them together, then it will be total life cycle cost. Also, this is like the equation for the life cycle cost. Okay. So take note that some costs are not relevant and are not accounted in the calculation. These costs are either trivial in amount or do not affect the decision. For example, there are sometimes that there is no operation cost or no operation cost involved. For example, you are calculating the life cycle cost of for example, door element. There will be initial cost, supply install, right? There will be no maintenance cost. There will be no operation cost, right? But they'll have maintenance cost, perhaps replacement cost. And then either it have salvage revenue or it either cannot be sold. That means it will be disposed. So there will be a disposal cost. Okay. This is what it means. Okay. So next is video. Okay. Let us look at understanding life cycle cost. Maybe you are still not able to understand what is life cycle cost. So you can look at this video.
It's made up of many assets, from pipes and pumps to meters and tanks. Your drinking water system is made up of many assets, from pipes and pumps to meters and tanks. It costs money to construct, install, operate, maintain, repair, remove, and replace these assets. A lot of money. Most likely, you don't have all the money you need to do everything that should be done within your water system. So, you should make smart choices about where you spend the money you do have available. Asset management can help with making these smart decisions. Asset management helps you determine how, where, and when to spend your limited money. It's about maintaining a desired level of service. That is, what you want to provide to your customers at the lowest appropriate life cycle cost. So what does life cycle cost mean? It's actually a pretty simple concept. It means the total cost of ownership of an asset, the purchase price, the cost of operating and maintaining it, refurbishments, and finally, disposal. But figuring out life cycle cost can get tricky. Sometimes assets that are cheaper to buy end up costing more over time, especially if the asset uses energy. Here's an example. Let's imagine you're buying a new pump. There are lots of options out there. All pumps of the appropriate size and power seem to do the same job, which is pump water. So why not just buy the cheapest one and save money for something else? Because what you really want to be thinking about is the cost of moving water over a period of time. A pump costs something to purchase. Then there's the cost of installing it, the average cost of maintaining it each year, the average cost of the energy needed to power it each year, the average cost of repairing it each year, and the cost of removing it at the end of its life. If the pump lasts for 20 years, those costs look something like, whew, that seems like a lot. What if we go with a less expensive pump? Can we get our costs down? Let's see. So this pump costs less to purchase, and then there's the cost of installing, maintaining. The average annual energy cost to operate it is higher because it's less efficient, and then you factor in repairs and removing it. If the cheaper pump lasts for 20 years, those costs look something like, so the less expensive pump actually costs us more over time, and that has an impact on the entire system. There will be less money for other system needs. In fact, most of the life cycle cost of a motor or pump is the energy to power it, even though the tendency is to purchase based on upfront price. Not only will the more efficient asset often cost less in the long run, but lower energy use means lower heat and therefore often longer life. So it's worth taking the time to pick a pump or other asset that will cost you the least over its life, even if it costs more upfront. So in purchasing an asset, it's wise to think about the long term. Paying attention to total cost of ownership helps systems avoid unnecessary expenses in the future and frees up money for other priorities. To find out more about life cycle costing and other financial tips for your water system, visit efcnetwork.org.
Okay, so that is on the life cycle cost. Okay, you can still look back at the video later. Okay, so this is something to show. Okay, so this project, right? This building is a capsule tower. It's so-called capsule because it's like a. If you heard of capsule hotel, then you know what is a capsule, huh? So they are facing a demolition. Demolition. The new tower owner, they want to demolish this. So meaning at the end of the life of this project, of this building, you have to face a demolition, right? Okay. So you can see that for a building life, right? For building life, normally can be 50 years. Or for a normal building life, can be 50 years. So the wear and tear of the building will determine the building life. If the building they are not damaged, the maintenance is good, right? The building is not is well maintained, right? Consistent schedule, repainting work is done, right? So maybe it can last for long, right? Maybe you can see that some iconic building, they are lasting for 100 years. But this capsule tower only lasts 49 years because building is aging, non-existent maintenance, right? Leading to damaged water pipes. And then at the end, have to face demolition. Okay. Okay, so we go to item 6. Okay. Go on, let me check. Okay, we still have a few slides to go. Okay, we continue. We continue item 6 next week. Okay. Item 6, 7, 8 next week. Okay. We proceed to this first, quiz. Okay. I need you to do this interactive quiz. Okay. It's just something to test you, your understanding, your understanding on the value management. Okay, so you will have to do this. Watch this video. Okay, watch this video and then fill up the Google form. Okay, I will paste the link here, right? Paste the link here. Okay, you fill up this Google form. After you watch this video. Okay. So you enjoy this video.
Bob is building a hotel. He wants a best final. Bob is building a hotel. He wants a best final product. So he is asking his building team to start value management process. Bob wants to build 100 rooms. So building team doing a feasibility. They identified that there are 100 people are visiting per day in the proposed area. There are few hotels that already functioning in the particular area. So the building team is recommending to reduce the number of rooms in the hotel. By doing it, they are optimizing the functions of the project. Also, Bob wants to reduce the renting price of the room. So the building team wants to optimize the energy consumption of the building. In order to do the building team proposing a solar panel system to energize the building. They expect that it will increase the performance of the building. And Bob hopes to use low-cost tiles in the lobby area. But the building team is recommending him to use marble instead of tiles. By doing it, they are increasing the final quality of the building. It will add extra value to hotel. Building team also proposing a modern access control system to hotel guest rooms. This will increase the safety of the building and will add extra value to the project. Finally, building team advising the importance of optimizing the cost of the project. They are highlighting the importance of adjusting the 3 main costs involved in the lifespan of the building, such as cost of the solar panel may increase the building cost, building running cost will be reduced by it. So here are the 5 key elements of value management. Hope this explains lot.
Okay, so fill up. This will be your part of your attendance, whether you are missing in action or not. So those who not responding, then I know who are missing in action. Please do this quiz because this is quite important to you. If you understand this video, then if you are able to answer the question, then you already half cooked. You are already half cooked on what is value management. So see you next week, right? See you next week for the quiz, and then for the assignment, and then for the lecture. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. So I'm not sure who just now mute my sound. Huh? If I know who mute my sound, so don't simply mute me. Okay. Thank you. So see you next week. Bye-bye.